Hello and welcome to the Conversational AI News Podcast. And today I'm joined by Kit from Enate AI. Now, Kit, you're very welcome.
Good to see you, Ewan. Great to meet you.
Thank you for being with us. Kit, would you start with a background on yourself? Tell us what's been your journey. I know, by the way, from your LinkedIn, you started coding from when you were 10. What language was that? Tell us more.
Okay, fine. So I started coding at the age of 10 in BBC Basic.
Good man.
Because that's how much grey hair I have, and so yes, I got a BBC Micro because my dad is also a self-professed geek like I am at the age of 10, and so that's what I started coding in. Yeah,
take us through the journey then from then.
So from 10 onwards. Okay, so when I was so I'm a manufacturing engineer by kind of training and education and all of those kind of things. Yeah. And a software developer by hobby, and then actually largely by a chunk of career. Yeah. I've had some proper jobs along the way, but I've run a business really in three different guises. Yeah. So I've run a kind of bespoke software development business where we did individual things for individual customers. Yeah. Created a product business with a very, very ultra niche targeted product aimed at a very small sector of the BPO market. Yeah. And then in 2017, at a point in my life where I'd actually been doing a lot working with service provider organizations and really understanding how technology was brought to bear in service provision and service delivery. We started to see some new automation technologies starting to appear at that time.
Right.
There was things like RPA, but and actually at that point in time, I drew a slide, one slide, which said that the future of service delivery. It was really me noodling on how services would be delivered as different types of automation technology could start automating different types of human capability, and then really going through the thought process of, okay, all of those are going to be different technologies that come from different vendors with different underlying capabilities, and they need to come to bear amongst the carbon-based workforce, amongst real, actual intelligence, not just the artificial.
The other AI, actual intelligence.
Actual intelligence. Yeah. And actually you're going to need something to allow you to glue together a customer delivery, a customer service journey across those different capabilities, and help you manage the pivot as carbon turns to silicon in different types of capabilities at different points in time. And then slightly foolishly set out to go, well, why don't we go and build that glue layer,
right?
The thing that's going to allow you to manage services, deliver the world's best services, and automate them more and more over time. And that's what we built with Enate. Yeah, and as with many good businesses, we pivoted. Yeah, we basically built this business on the back of the previous one. Yeah,
right. Interesting. And so bring us up to date then. So if I said to you now, what's Enate AI? And of course, there's a clue there. There's a clue in the name, I think, right? But would you give us an overview now? Yeah.
Yeah. So Enate is a platform. It's a workflow platform for delivering and automating world-class services. Yeah. So, and the AI bit of it comes in the automating bits of world-class services. Yeah. So there's the core, which is let's make sure we get the right work to the right resource at the right time to deliver an amazing customer experience. Yeah.
Right.
And then there is what is the right resource? And if that right resource is part of somebody's service delivery team, wherever they're working in the world, then that's the right resource. If the right resource is an AI component that is understanding what the customer is actually asking you to do, is measuring the sentiment of how they're engaging with you, is extracting data from the information that the customer has sent to you, then those are the different types of AI that we're bringing to bear along the way. Yeah, and then some of that becomes conversational as well. But we work very much in the B2B space. So we are helping people who are providing B2B services.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I find it quite alluring when I'm sitting on the website and I click up onto pricing and it's $60. $60 a seat, and I'm thinking, okay, wow. Would you say some more about the customers who the target customers and the customers who are using it? Can you give us a use case or an example on how they're using this platform?
Sure. So I'll give you an example from from the corporate services world. So corporate services is about helping other companies manage their global expansion and manage the entities that they bring up in many, many different countries.
Right.
Yeah. And so this big corporate service provider, it's a company called TMF, but this big corporate service provider, they're providing entity management and finance and accounting and HR, all of these services, to about 10,000 end clients.
Wow.
In 75 countries.
Right.
In 12 languages.
Gosh. Okay.
And where each of those clients has, there is necessary difference in how you do stuff in Brazil to how you do stuff in Belgium. There is necessary difference in how you do stuff between, Microsoft and eBay. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
So within TMF, they are using the Enate platform as they call it the beating heart of their.
Interesting. Right.
So all of their service delivery teams, they've got about 7,500 people in service delivery. All of that team are using Enate every hour of the day to understand what they've got to do for which customer and when. And all of the communication with those customers is happening through Enate as well. Yeah.
Right.
So that's the kind of beating heart bit.
Okay.
And then Enate AI is coming to bear along that service delivery journey. And we break our view on AI down into kind of two camps.
Go on.
We talk about systemic AI, which is the stuff that is about how do we make us as an organization more effective. It's the stuff that quite often happens in the background in between human touch points.
Right.
Yeah?
Yep.
So TMF are bringing to bear some of that systemic AI. So if we go left to right on a service delivery journey, every service starts with trying to figure out what the customer's asking you to do. Yeah, because until you figure that out, guess what? You can't go any further. Yeah.
Yes.
Figuring out what the customer's asking you to do.
Right.
So they are using Enate AI for categorization of the work that comes into them. So an awful lot of the demand and work still comes in in the B2B world. Lots comes in by email.
Right.
Some comes in by voice, but mostly stuff comes in by email. So that kind of categorization AI, and they're using sentiment AI from Enate AI as well to go, sad face, happy face, neutral face.
Right. Yeah.
How is this customer feeling? And that's about getting to be honest, it doesn't matter what the answer to that on a single email is.
Yes.
Or on a single communication. That's totally irrelevant. What's important is to understand that actually Ewan is one of my important customers. Ewan's kind of baseline sentiment is here.
Yes.
But right now Ewan is trending down against that, or Ewan is trending up against that. Yeah.
Right. So be aware what's going to help.
Be aware of that.
Yeah.
Why is Ewan getting more grumpy?
Yes. What's causing that? Yeah.
Right. What's driving that? Yeah. But there is no absolute sentiment. There is no absolute happiness. Yeah. Because when you're looking at sentiment in 75 countries, in many languages, you see genuine. There are stereotypes around this,
right,
of cultures that just have different base points, and as individuals we have different baselines. So sentiment is all about understanding the baseline for the thing and then measuring against that. So
right,
and then they're coming through using data extraction AI, so intelligent document processing, which is plugged up into the Enate platform. They're using analyst AI, which is really going, I've written a policy in English,
Right.
Every service that you deliver has some kind of policy that says, does this make it, is it transactable? Yeah.
Yes.
I've got
Yes.
a policy for paying an invoice. I've got a policy for, can I take this person on as an insurance client? Yeah. So an analyst AI is going, okay, I've got my policy written in English. I've got the data that I've now extracted through, and I've got in my customer interaction. Is this in line with policy? Is it transactable? And if it's not transactable, why is it not transactable?
Right.
Yeah. So that's where they're bringing systemic AI to bear, but they're also bringing some conversational AI to bear as well.
Interesting.
To come to the nub of your
Indeed.
your world, which is, and in their world, that's very much about if agent effectiveness of their service delivery teams, because these are complicated, varied services. Yeah. And those teams, when you have a situation of, great, I need to make this person a director of a Cayman Islands company, but they are a Thai national with a family that are British nationals, and they are a director of this other. You have a lot of variables that come to play, and actually at that point, as somebody that is going, I need to make sure this is okay, and they are compliant. At that point, they need to go, okay, what are the relevant Cayman Island rules? What is the data that I've got from this particular client, and then bring those together and go and surface that to the agent in a conversational way.
Right.
Yeah? But that is all incidental to only put it in front of the agent when you've done those bits of systemic AI heavy lifting first to go, yeah, we know what the customer's asking us to do. We've assembled a bunch of the data to do what the customer's asking us to do. Now we need to get into the, there's some complexity here. Let's help the agent deal with the complexity. Yeah.
Wow. I'm curious, what's the state before Enate AI? What does the company look like before they've got your platform?
So that can be very, very variable. Yeah. So we work a lot with private equity backed service organizations. Yeah. So they tend to be organizations that are on a pretty stellar growth journey. Yeah. They've got some kind of unique or differentiated service proposition that's really helped them grow.
Right.
And they have grown fast. Now, for anybody that's run a business that's grown fast, that comes with other things. Yeah.
Excel and piles of paper.
Excel, endless emails, group mailboxes, piles of paper.
Yes. Crappy systems that someone's made.
Mild shambles.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. With an awful lot of goodwill from the staff actually being what makes stuff happen. So that tends to be a not uncommon start point.
Yes.
And actually, whether it's a private equity backed service provider or even an internal service provider within a big corporate.
Yes.
Very often they look a bit like that.
Right.
Even if they've got some kind of basic ticketing system in, they've got a Jira or they've got a Freshdesk or something like that in. They might be at a point where they can successfully give something a name,
right,
and maybe tell you who addressed it with the client, but they can't really get a lot further than that. Yeah,
gotcha. And sorry, please.
And that's where the B2B world can be quite different to the B2C world. Because
of course,
in a B2C world, people do get really quite focused on that. No, this is going to be beautiful. I'm going to make this a very tailored and slick experience for this very specific service. B2B world is a bit more shambolic.
When I was listening to you describe the TMF example there, it sounds absolutely ideal. I can imagine the COO or whoever is in charge of making sure that the business is operating as effectively as possible is going, look, this is peak. We're doing really good, and that's why I was asking you, what does it look like before you come in, right? Who is it typically that's driving that decision, saying we've got to get better, we need to get something like your services? Is it an operating team? Is it the CEO?
So it's normally the operations leads. Yeah, in that private equity backed world, it's the PE company as well, because the PE company is acting as an almighty cattle prod to go. Just remember, we're all on this. You're going to double the scale. Growth journey, yeah. So, and actually, for those businesses that are at that, they've scaled to that point. They're a $1 billion company, but they still have that somewhat complex, somewhat shambolic core, yeah. But one of the absolute levers to that further trajectory of growth is then them really getting their stuff together and going, we're putting in things like Enate to provide that control and automation.
Then I wanted to ask, what are your favorite use cases or examples that the platform has solved for some clients? Give us some, what's top, what are you really impressed by?
So there are two things that sort of leaped. Actually, no, there are three.
Go on.
So I love how simple doing sentiment analysis really is now, and the fact that most businesses, we've dealt with customer satisfaction by doing NPS surveys and all of that kind of thing for most of my career, actually. Yeah, and it's great. That is at least a simple questionnaire. But the problem is, it's something that is entirely rearward facing.
Yes.
Yeah. You do it once a year, once every 6 months, and you go, oh, crikey, well, we didn't do all that well then, did we? And you make some guesses about what you're going to do better, and then you get to 6 months and you go, did any of them work? Hard to tell. Whereas what we're able to do right now is get that real-time kind of upfront action around, this client is drifting off. Yeah,
and we can see that.
And you can see that as a signal as it happens, so you can act way ahead. So actually, how do you actually drive genuine NPS growth and customer satisfaction? Well, by having real-time views of sentiment. Yeah.
Right.
So that's one that I love, because I am massively keen on how do you deliver the best services.
Yes.
So the one that has scared me the most, but also interested me the most, is one that we've done with a big hotel chain.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and this is where there really is a mixture of conversational AI and systemic AI in this, and it's about something that is at the absolute essence of driving value. So we're engaged by the finance shared services bit of this of this big hotel chain. And it's very easy to get involved in doing kind of the transactionally bits of finance shared services and global business services. That's fine. But actually the desire is to go, great, let's take that as read. How can you help us get finance actually driving some of the real strategic imperatives for the business? Now, one of the strategic imperatives for this business is higher growth. And how do hotel chains grow? Well, it's by building more hotel rooms and occupying them.
Right.
Yeah? So the first one is, you got to build the hotel. You got to build the hotels so that you can occupy them. So the challenge there was, how can you help us build more hotels? and this comes down to, actually it's something that comes down to dealing with landowners.
Right.
So as a landowner, when you want to build a new hotel, or you've got a piece of land and you want to start earning money from that, it's a bit like Monopoly. You go, great, I'm going to build a hotel on my land, and you go out to the big hotel brands and you go, can I have a proposal to build one of your hotels on my land? And
Right.
Yeah. And at that point, it's an arms race, because actually the person who gets the proposal in front of the developer first, they are the one that then owns the conversation. Yeah. The first mover in the conversation is real advantage. You got their ear, you keep their ear. Yeah. So, right, how can we use AI to help you get a business case in front of a property developer to build a hotel more quickly? I don't know, but it made us think of it. Yeah?
Yes.
So, and actually, and it's a complicated thing. But if I kind of pick one line apart of it and go, look, you have lots of teams that are involved in bringing the business case together in parallel.
Yes.
Yeah? But let's just take one of those teams, because the same pattern applies to each of them. Yeah?
Right.
That within that, so let's take the team that are trying to look at the market insights and to go, actually, what brand of hotel should we build? Should we build one at all? What's the competitive situation around it? Yeah, those kind of things. Yeah. The first thing that they've got to do is go, actually, I need to go and assemble a whole bunch of data around what are the hotels that
Yes.
are already
What's
existing
happening?
around that
Yes.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the competitive landscape? What are the average room rates? What is the average occupancy for those hotels that are currently there? There's a whole bunch of data to go and collect. And that's a place where it is very human-centric, but by bringing co-piloting conversational AI to support them, we make their research more effective and faster. Yeah. So this is something where they're still working within the Enate platform, but we're actually surfacing through Enate a dedicated Microsoft Copilot where they can go, okay, can you just go and get me all of the hotels within 20 miles of this point, yeah, and can you go and find out their average rack rate? So it's about giving this, so they're having this conversation with this Copilot.
Wow.
That has access to that underlying data. But it's fundamentally down to the human then to go, right, have I got enough information to actually be able to take forward into the analysis? Yeah, because actually it might come back with going, no, there are no competitor hotels around there, but there are a whole load of B&Bs, and so that might spark a whole bunch of other questions in the person. Yeah. So that kind of conversation is the conversational bit there with Copilot surface through Enate. And then once they're going, yeah, we've got enough information now, then we hand that on to the systemic AI to go, right, here is our policy for deciding whether we should build a new hotel.
Yes.
And what brand of hotel we should build.
Right.
So you feed that data in that the analyst has put together by working with this conversational AI. You feed it into the Enate AI analyst. Okay, here's my policy. Here's my data. Write me the recommendation section for the business case document that explains what hotel brand we should build, why we should build it, whether we should build one at all, and then and then you're doing something similar across all of these other teams, and then go and assemble it into the final business case document. And that the fact that we could do that by breaking it down into those sections, going, look, here is a bit that must be human-centric,
yes,
because the edges of it are very hard to define. Therefore, conversational AI and co-piloting is the right thing there. But then making a decision about should I build a hotel, you think that's non-trivial. That's going to be no.
Yes.
Actually, it works really well. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the one that scared me most in the, okay, let's cut it. That's going across a whole bunch of areas going, that surprised me. When I say scared me, what I mean is surprised me the amount of hard to do, nuanced, human-y stuff, we could do.
And in that example there, Kit, I moved to think of that phrase. It's not AI won't take your job; it's a human using AI that'll take your job. This is a really interesting example of if you don't have all of that capability, which comes from, for example, based in or rooted in innate AI, a lot of businesses are going to really, really struggle to be able to move fast here.
Yeah, so to operationalize AI. And that's the word that I like to use is operationalize. To deploy, there's all sorts of nasty history of technology deployment not being used. So operationalize means actually do useful stuff with it. Yeah. So to operationalize AI in service delivery, where you are doing something that it doesn't have a lot of QA that happens through the process. Yeah. Then actually you've got to do something that is where you are controlling the purpose of that AI. You have to operationalize it within a platform that it can flip to human without any issue.
Yes.
Yeah. Of great, AI is not confident. Flip it across. Yeah. Human is supported by AI. Great. Yeah. So you have to work within some kind of orchestration platform. So,
yes.
Yeah. Like Enate. Yeah. So that you've got that control layer, and so that you've got the complete audit of this is what the AI did. This is what humans did with the whole process. AI data. Here's everything coming together. Yeah.
Okay. How do you deploy this? What's the right? If someone that's listening thinking, God, this is we should do more. How do you deploy innate AI? What's the time scale roughly? Time to value.
Okay, so our focus is on most operations, where you are trying to engage things. It's about identifying teams and rolling out and working team by team across an organization. Yeah. Because actually, whose work are you trying to automate and improve? It's the work of this team. Yeah. And it's not worth talking to them. If you're looking to do something that's useful for that team, you have to talk to them holistically about, right, what's everything that you do?
Yes.
Let's at least control everything that you do. Yeah. To the level of we can give it a name and count it and understand who's doing it and how long it's taking. Yeah. And that's the building
Start
the contracts
bit. Yes. Yeah.
Start there. Yeah. And then you have a data set coming out of the platform that goes, great, here is the first thing that you should then automate.
Yes.
Here's the next thing that you should then automate. And for some of those, it's a case of, well, just switch it on. Just switch on sentiment analysis.
Yeah, and just try.
There's no downside. There's only upside. Yeah. Just switch on categorization because it helped. And if it's not confident, humans doing it anyway.
Yes.
Yeah? But then as you get into the bits that are deeper into the process, then focus deploying your things like analyst AI and extraction in the places where you are going to deliver most value by doing it. You're going to either save most time or create the biggest customer impact.
Now, if I wanted to know more, if I'm keen to really discover more about what you're doing, what's the right way of engaging with you and the company?
Cool. So first thing I say is head to our website, enate.io. Yeah. Feel free to ping me on LinkedIn. I'm sure you can put my.
I'll put it in there.
Put my details at the bottom.
I'll link you. Yeah.
Or engage us direct through the website. Yeah. If your business is providing a service, a B2B service, and if what you are thinking of doing is making the delivery of that service better, what the essence of your thought process is, I'm delivering this service and I want to make it better. That is a conversation that we should have. Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time. That's been fantastic.
Absolute pleasure. It's been great to talk to you, Ian.